Alright, good morning, guys. And I'm already in a trade. I got in BOXL at 251 back here in pre-market. I've been holding to see if it's going to get any more action, and it's struggling. I may not be able to hold it much more. Make sure 250 holds up as support. But it does have really good PR. A partnership with Samsung. We'll see what happens here. It's alright. It's been selling off since this initial run. And I didn't think it was going to get back down this low. It just now started getting down this low, but see 250 kind of holding up there. Trying to anyway. It's got some pretty good resistance at $3. Which is what I was looking for it to get to, and it only got up to 288. Now it's starting to pop up a little bit. Pop back up. Still in this downtrend. It needs to break over this downtrend. It's in this current sell-off. What's up, Daniel B? Good morning, buddy. See, hit that downtrend line again. This is what it's been doing since it started selling off. This is my main focus for now. I know there's some other plays. See IGC popping up a little bit there. See YEG doing nothing, selling off. BMRA sideways, that's selling off. Okay. BOXL getting hit a little bit. Still a lot of selling pressure on this. You can see it's 6 million in volume. Sellers still have a hold of this. See if the buyers can keep it over 250 or not. Damn, looks like it's going to try to crack through 250 here. Hmm. Yeah, this candle needs to hold above 250. It's gonna crack through 250 here. Well, 250 is still trying to hold, but a lot of selling pressure still on this. Look at there, 250 trying to hold. I may look to add if 250 keeps holding there, if this starts breaking this downtrend. I don't know yet. This is still a little bit sketchy. Got a minute on this candle. So they're trying to keep this below the 9 EMA. A lot of selling at 260. Yeah, the ask is stacking. Those shorters may be trying to come in this. May already be in it. I think if it gets to that 260 wall, I may add. See IGC popping up a little bit. Well, let's see, I may go on IGC as well, maybe. Let me look here real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna go on IGC here. Starting to pop up. I'm just gonna put a stop loss under $1 because I'm gonna be bouncing back and forth here. Well, if I can, let me see. IGC moving. Let me put a stop loss for BOXL while it's consolidating. IGC run into some resistance at 115. What did I get filled at? Okay, I got filled at 110. I'm going to run into resistance at 125 on this. You can see there, Boxel pulling back again. I may just have to get out of Boxel. A little bit of an upper shadow forming on IGC here. Okay, unless it pops up here in this last few seconds on this candle. It's trying to hold 115. IGC trying to push through 120. Let's see if it gets through 125 or not. Looking pretty decent here. Let's see, Boxel. BOXL just not holding up at all. Let's see what we look at 125. You can see it's running right into that. It looks like it might break it down, maybe. Where could it move if, okay, if it breaks through 125, it's got room up to 132. And that'll be pre-market high. Looks like it's going to try to go for a new high a day, maybe. Oh, yeah. Looks like it's getting halted. Bunch of buying volume coming in here. And yeah, I believe it's getting halted. Right here at the high of day. Maybe. Let's see. Yep, there it goes. No? Yeah, okay. So that's halted. Cool. So good profit there so far. And it's halted. So now I can look at Boxel and decide what I want to do here. So not too bad. Firing out the gate. With IGC there. Now, if Boxel can just get back above 250 and get out of this downtrend, but I don't know if it's going to happen or not. It's really good PR, but just selling off so hard after this initial rip. And you see it's trying to hold up 245. It's struggling to do it. It's got three more minutes. Let's see, where was that? Yeah, 237. Well, this looks like it's going to crack some more here. Yeah, 240 can't hold up. It is what it is. I'm just gonna let my stop loss take me out of this if it drops below 240. CBD trial for Alzheimer's. Look back on this chart, see where the next resistance is. Oh, well, good. We're hitting a new high a year, so there is no more resistance. I mean, it's getting halted right at that resistance. Let's look back on this chart and make sure. 170. Got some at 170. Of course, 150 will be some type of resistance, and then $2. So, well, it looks like basically the normal resistance. 150, 175, $2. I don't know if it'll go that high, but we'll see. 240 still trying to hold up on Boxel. I should have just locked my profits in. I wouldn't have had them this morning. That's a good, easy, quick profit I could have made, and I just held and held and held, thinking it was going to keep coming up. And see, it's about to hit my stop loss here. So I'm just going to try to hold back above 240. I'll just let it do its thing. Should be getting close to getting out of this halt. See if this gap's up. Probably lock some of this out. Out of this halt just to be sure. Let's see, did I get stopped out yet? No, still haven't got stopped out quite yet, but I think it's going to happen here soon. Nice, Mark. Nice job. Nice swing trade. Now, because it's halted right at the high of day, it's either going to pull back, probably either pull back real quick out of this halt, or it's going to gap up and keep moving. Because it's like I said, there's not a lot of resistance ahead now. If it does break over 132, it's right at it. It's right where it got halted. This is barely holding. BLXL's really looking weak. Oh boy, big gap up here. I'm gonna lock out 50 of it here at this 150 area. So very nice move right out of that halt, which is what I was saying. It's either going to rip out of this halt because of that, it being over that high, that pre-market high. But look at here, we're going to rip some more. We're going to get halted again. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, man. Woo. IGC just going nuts. I like it. Beautiful. And we're halted again here. Voxel still hasn't died off on me yet either. It's still hanging in there. Trying to hold that 140. Yeah, IGC, nice. Nice big rip here out the gate. So another halt. Another halt. I did lock out half. So I am guaranteed some profit no matter what. And we'll see what this does out of this halt. This will be the second halt, so see, BOXL is either going to crack here and I'm going to get stopped out, or it's going to hold up. And maybe start trying to reverse this trend. Well, 238 is some support from a while back. It's been holding up, but it's struggling. Oh yeah, here we go. Right at my stop loss. See if IGC gaps up again out of this second halt. I think I'll get, let's see, I'm trying to think. Oh, there I got, okay, so I got stopped out on Boxlight, $8 loss. Yeah, but I was in at 251 since pre-market. I mean, that 230 may be support. I mean, I can always get back in it. But I'm in IGC right now on the second halt, so I don't really want to mess with trying to figure out exactly where BOXL was. But 238 was some support, and 250 was some support, and both of those did not hold up. So for that entry that I was in on, I don't really want to hold much longer than right where it was at. So I'll take that small loss. I mean, I'm already above what I've lost on that with IGC, so we'll see what happens here. Now I can just focus on IGC for the current moment here. See what happens out of this halt. Should be getting ready to unhalt here soon. Maybe. This is a 10-minute halt. Now at this point we are off of this 9 quite a bit. It's 9 EMA, so I'm kind of expecting a pullback out of this halt. But we'll see. We will see what happens. I think I might try to lock out 20 shares out of this halt, depending on what it does. If it gaps up again, I'm gonna lock out 20 and then see if I can hold 30 more and see what happens. Because this has been a pretty good run so far. I mean, off of $1, it ran 53 cents so far, so that's a pretty quick move for this cheap of a stock. One Life, you're watching WKHS. Well, anytime today. Maybe 9 o'clock is when this is going to unhalt. We got a minute and a half. See how Boxell's doing. Yeah, Boxell might find support there. Nice, Epic. Good job getting a part of IGC. Like I said, I'm kind of expecting a pullback. Kind of what I'm thinking after a second halt, but there's no really way to know. So we'll see. Should be getting unhalted here in 30 seconds. Should be. See, Boxell back up to 240, so it might have just stopped me out, just to stop me out. Look at that, BOXL up to 244. It's popping back up off of that support. Alright, let's see what happens on IGC here. Okay, we haven't unhalted yet. So that's a little sketchy. How long is this halt going to be for? We don't want this halt too long, because if it halts for a long time, then traders will get uninterested. And everybody who's in it will jump out of it as soon as it unhalts. I may just lock I just may lock this in as soon as it unhalts. I'm going to stick with my original plan, locking out 20. What are we looking at here? 15-minute halt? What's going on? Oh yeah, and Boxell's popping back up to that downtrend. nice long halt here. Oh, here we go. Unhalted in a big gap up there. Let me get 20 out of there. Whoa, huge buyer just came in at 165, and we are ripping here. We are ripping, and we are getting halted again. I did lock out my 20 shares, but man, boy, this is hot right now. And halted again, so I got 30 shares left here. Phew. All the way up to 180. So now we don't have nothing left but $2. What a rip. Nasty, nasty rip on this so far. 80-cent rip. Third halt in a row. That was a nice gap up out of there. I was not expecting that much of a gap up. Actually, I wasn't expecting it to gap up at all, but thanks, guys. Thanks for the support. I know I'm actually making a little bit of money. Surprise, surprise. Look at there. Yeah, man, what a rip. Now it's probably gonna be a little bit longer of a halt. And I wouldn't have even locked out that 20 if I'd have saw that. Like, as soon as I hit sell, I saw that it was like 250,000 shares at 260 where I locked out part of that profit at. If I'd have saw that before I hit sell, I wouldn't have sold that. But that buyer came in so quick, it just happened to be right at the split second that I hit sell on that little small position. But that's all right. That was my plan, so I stuck to it. Now at this point, man, I don't know. It's got to have a pullback after this third halt, I would think. Yeah, it is definitely a cheap. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Cheap for retail investors to go nuts on, but. I mean, that big of a buyer is 250,000 shares. That's not a retail trader either, though. So, might be a little bit more to this. So now we're gonna be on another little wait here. My average price was 111. This is my average price. I got in right here at the break of this. I had IGC on my watch list in the morning. It's been going sideways, consolidating all the way through post-market, through pre-market. And when it started coming back up here and it started to break that 110 area, because you can see a lot of the tops of these candles are in that 108 to 110 area, so that's why I hopped in right there for it to break over that. I wasn't expecting this big of a move, honestly. I was looking for up to 125, maybe that pre-market high of 132, but it is what it is. Yeah, no, I got in at 110. I got in this way back here. You do not want to try to get in this after this. This is the third halt. Okay, like I said, I was surprised that the second halt didn't pull back. So I have no idea what's going to happen on this third halt. But there is some big buyers in this. But jumping in this after this much of a rip after 3 halts, never a good idea. So don't get FOMO and you know, jump in something because you're scared you're going to miss out. This could keep running, but this could also very easily sell off very quickly. So, I mean, we are quite a ways off the 9. And like I said, after 3 halts, it's just never a good idea to buy a stock then. So, we'll see what happens out of this third halt, though. Let me look back on this max chart. See, because all I looked up to was $2, and we're almost to $2 now. Yeah, $2 is some resistance after 2. Ooh, Lord. Let's see. After 2, it's got room. Looks like up to 2. 220, 225. And then after that, looks like 255, 265, and 290. I don't think it's going to get that high, but it has ripped big before. See how big were these moves? Let's see how big these moves were so we can kind of get an idea. So this one was $1.06 up to $4. Good Lord, that's quite a rip. This one's $2 up to $7.50. Whew. That's a pretty big rip. And then that one, let's see, it opened up at 8 and pushed all the way up to 14. But also you can see on this candle, it pushed all the way up to 14 and then it sold off all the way back down to $4. So just as fast as this can go up is as fast as it can go down and destroy an account. So that's why you don't want to be jumping in all willy-nilly. These type of stocks, these type of rips and stocks, you got to get early. You got to be first. If you're not first, you're last. You know, Talladega Nights, Ricky Bobby. Look at this Boxell popping back up. You dirty girl. Came down just for that 1 second just to stop me out. So we should be almost out of this halt. And let's see what happens up out of this halt here. See if we get another gap up or not. I may just go. I may go wild with this 30 shares. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm thinking I may let them. Let's see. We're about to unhalt here. There's some movement in the level 2. Okay, maybe not. These halt fests are ridiculous. Change it from 30 to 15. I may change it to 10 because 10's a little bit easier to work with. 15, I mean, my buttons are 10, 30, and 50, so that's why I was kind of just gonna stick with 30 and see what this does. But I'm like I said, I may get a little wild and think about maybe letting this 30 ride. I don't know yet. We'll see. Because if it's getting the thing is, if it's getting halted on the way up, it's gonna get halted on the way down. When this does stop running, it's going to come down hard, and it's going to be halt after halt after halt probably. But the question is, when is that going to happen? When is this going to stop running? This is the third halt. Usually after the third halt, I'm very skeptical, and I don't think it's going to run. But I was thinking that after the second halt, and I was very wrong. So we'll see. 5 at a time? You want to scale out 5 shares at a time? I'm not gonna scale out at 5 shares at a time. I'd do 10, but 5, that's too annoying. Nice, Daniel B. You got a nice move on IYEG. I'm sorry, EYEG. So good job. A couple of y'all making some money here this morning. And we're out, and we are through $2 here. Oh, no, we're not. I thought we were getting through 2. So I'm going to lock 10 out. It's a lot of buyers, but they're getting taken out. So we're going to get halted on the way down probably here. Yeah, it's getting halted on the way down, so I'm stuck in it for this last 20 shares. I did lock 10 more shares out, but see, this thing moves so quick. That's the thing. It moves so quick out of these halts. You don't have much of a chance to react. That's why it's very dangerous. If you're not in down here, if you're not in before all this crazy nonsense is going on, then any entry you try to take at this point is going to be sketchy. Did hit 2. Did try to test that too, but a lot of buyers got taken out. So I got 20 shares left on this. Let's take a look at EYEG, see how EYEG is looking. Oh yeah, Daniel B has a nice pop there. Having a pullback now though. And BOXL still not really getting a move up. Got a little bounce there, but nothing yet. Trying to hold up that 243. Alright, why this is halted? Give me just a second, guys. Give me like a couple minutes here. I'll be right back. Yeah, you're right about that. The books and tutorials and all that cannot account for actually being in the markets and trading. That experience, year after year of continually trading and seeing trends and seeing patterns like this pattern right here. This pattern works a decent amount. It's a nice little U-shaped breakout. But you can get some very big rips like this one off of these U-shaped breakouts. Sometimes they're little small rips. Sometimes they don't break at all. But all patterns don't work 100% of the time anyway. So that's where Daniel B is very masterful at, is risk management on trades. Like One Life is saying. So let's see what happens on IGC here. Out of this, what is this? The fourth halt. Out of the third halt was a pullback, which I was expecting that. But now I really don't know. I don't know if this is going to keep dropping and selling off, or if this pullback is going to attract new buyers or not. It could gap down too. I mean, it's been gapping up. Very easily could open and gap down at 175 area. We'll see. I don't know. I have no idea. This is one of them halt fests that can go either way, and it can go either way very, very quickly. It's just hard to play it because it moves so quick at this point. The level 2 in time and sales moves so quick. It's hard to get a read of what's going to happen out of the halt. That's good. That's solid advice from Daniel B there. Very solid advice. Hardest thing is not to make a trade, but wait for the right trade. Patience and discipline is the biggest key when it comes to the stock market. And patience and discipline are something that I struggle with even after. We're going on, this is probably my 6th year of day trading. And that is good advice there. Because like I said, after almost my 6th year of day trading, and I still struggle with discipline and patience. We're human beings. We're not perfect. And everybody's a little bit different, but I struggle with those personally more than anything else. Not saying that it'll take any new traders 5 or 6 years to, master day trading, but for me personally, I still don't feel like I'm anywhere close to mastering this game. Everybody's different. Everybody learns at different paces. Everybody has different emotions, different thoughts. Like, there's a lot of psychology in the stock market. Like, there's books and stuff you can read on trader psychology, but just like studying some basic human psychology can help you a lot. And you can see big gap down there. Just trying to push up here, but I don't know. This could go either way. Well, he didn't get halted right out of the gate yet, so that's something. There's buyers coming in, but sellers are still trying to push this down. I'm going to lock another 10 out in case it cracks 150. Yeah, it's going to get halted on the way down again. So I got 10 shares left. Most of my profits locked in. So that's fine. Yeah, you can see the selling was coming in real hard there. Because what happens is, you know, a lot of new traders, I'm sure retail traders were jumping in on this out of the second halt, and maybe even jumping in before the second halt, jumping here, and before the third halt, and then I'm sure even newer retail traders were jumping in up here, looking for it to break two, and then now it's coming back down. So all the traders who got in through here are getting destroyed right now, trying to hop out as quick as they can. The traders like me who are back here in this area, they're locking out profit all the way up. So you're going to have a ton of selling. So we got one more halt, but like I said, I only got 10 shares left. Majority of my profit is locked in. And we'll see what happens out of this halt. See how BOXL's doing. BOXL still struggling to get back up. EYEG not doing too much. AMTX, this gap up. Okay, it popped up on post market. This was a possible trade yesterday. It's actually making a little U-shape. If AMTX breaks over 325 here, possibly could get a move up to 350 at that post-market high there. If it can break 325 though. I'm actually going to add AMTX to my watch list. Because I think this, I'm pretty sure this is, no, it had news yesterday. Right? Yeah. So it's just still running off of yesterday's news. But this, I mean, this is really high up though, because this is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, 6 green days in a row so far. If this candle closes green, so it's going to get sketchier the higher it is up. Had some good volume pushing up to that 325, but it's going to need another volume, good strong buying volume to push through that 325 area. There's a possible play there. I'm trying to test 325 right now. Bam, right there up to 330. Volume bar pushing up. 330 is acting as some resistance though. So it needs to get through 330 as well. If this does start ripping, that's gonna tell me something. That's gonna let us know that the triangles have not been working as much, but maybe U-shapes are gonna start working. Candle's pulling back below 325, so still struggling with that 325 area a little bit. Candle needs to close over 325. Needs to close over that resistance. And then it needs to hold up. It needs to confirm and hold up. Oh, IGC is unhalted, so let me pop back over here. 150 trying to hold up as some support, and this is going to get halted on the way up again. So, yeah, there we go. Halted, bouncing off of 350. Look at the buy-in coming on these bids. Good Lord. Huge, huge buy-in coming back into this off of that bounce of 350. Or 150, I'm sorry. So that probably, because that got unhalted, that probably took some attention away from AMTX. That would be my guess, because it did, AMTX did pull back below that 325. Let's see, it's got 8 seconds to close. So it's still, it doesn't look like it's going to close over 325. Well, it might. It closed right at 325, right at that resistance. What did it get up to? 335? So this is still trying to break out, but it's struggling. There it goes. Now it's starting to move some. Let's see. At 335, still acting as some resistance. But it's trying. Look at there. Boom. Right through there. All up to 340. Very nice. Some nice predictable plays today. Things. Nice predictability on these setups. So far you could at least got 15 cents out of this little U-shaped break. Check on Boxel. Okay, Boxel's trying to come back up finally a little bit. Testing that downtrend again. It's got to get over the downtrend at this point. If not, it's going to drop off more. Look at there, AMTX popping over 340. The 350 is probably going to be pretty strong resistance. Let me look at this past chart here. Oh, never mind. It's above everything. Yeah, so 350. So 344 was actually new high of the year, even though 350 was in post market. But intraday, it's the new high of the year. So 350 is going to be real tough. You can see it's pulling back there. How's EYEG doing? Let's see if AMTX can get up there and test that 350. I'm curious to see if it's going to break over that. If it can get up there, it's trying to push back up there. Oh, here it goes. Let's see. Oh, IGC's unhalted again. So it got close to 350, but coming back down. IGC still not sure which way this is going to go. It's starting to pull back a little bit. Still trying to hold that 150. Didn't sell off, so buyers should be trying to come back in maybe. The 150 is holding up. Just watching this to see if it's gonna hold that 150. And it looks like it's going to. Trying to pop up here. I don't know if this is gonna hold up or not. Every time it tries to get over 160, it gets pushed right back down. suck out the rest of it here. Keeps trying to test this 150 support. It's going to crack. There it goes. Now it's starting to pop back up a little bit. And looks like it's about to get halted on the way up again. Yep, getting halted on the way up. Oh, no, it didn't. It didn't halt. Sneaky halt. It's a pretend halt. So the seller's just won right there, keeping this from getting halted. They were able to take out all that buying. So that's a little sketchy. I'm going to lock my 10 out. It's starting to come down. I don't want to get in another down halt again, so I'm out. I'm fully out of that. $43 profit. Not bad. See how AMTX is doing. So AMTX got held up at that 350. Trying to still slowly climb, though. Let's see. BOXL back up to 250. Interesting. Keep an eye on BOXL here for a second. BOXL's getting held up at 250. The bottom of that's 230. I don't know if I want to. Whoops. See, IGC still consolidating. No halt yet. Got a minute on this last candle on BOXL. Still some selling pressure on BOXL. BOXL is just consolidating in this area right now. Give it a second to do its thing. See, AMTX still consolidating as well. IGC looks like shorters are trying to push this down. I'm all out of IGC. I made a $43 profit on IGC on the original move. At this point, though, you've got a downtrend and it's starting to curl over. It looks like shorters are really trying to take a hold of this and push us back down, so I'd be a little cautious on it. BOXL is kind of where I'm looking at right now. You have 100 shares at 180? Boy, that's sketchy, buddy. That is real sketchy. I mean, like I said, it's in a downtrend, and it looks like shorters are about to take over pretty hard. I mean, this is curling over. It looks like it's going to drop to me, because if 150 doesn't hold up, it's going to drop back down for sure. But see, AMTX trying to push back up to that 340. I mean, you want to see 150 hold support. If 150 doesn't hold support, it's going to drop on IGC. And you see it 150 cracking right there. It's still trying to hold up though. about Boxel. I mean, it's still holding 150 and it's still holding a 9 EMA, but it just feels. I mean, there's just so much selling pressure. It keeps testing this 150 support. It tested here, it tested here, it tested here, and now it's testing again. It's 4 times that it's testing this support. So I mean, it's real sketchy. If it holds up here, it very well could, but usually when 150 keeps getting tested, it usually cracks out. Or, well, any support. When any support gets tested a lot, it usually cracks. And you can see there, it looks like it's going to start cracking. Oh, maybe not. See, AMTX. AMTX still struggling to even get up to that 350. BOXLs was starting to build some higher lows, but coming down a little bit here now, but it's still in a downtrend. Oops. Oh yeah, see IGC. If IGC cracks below 140, it's definitely done. It's gonna sell off hard. You see that downtrend, it's just riding right along this downtrend line. Hit there, and then since then just pointing down. Same thing with BOXL, hitting this 250 resistance, slowly riding down the downtrend line. You have no volume on your charts, so you should be able to go to. Let's see, I'm running out of time here. I gotta take my dog to doggy daycare in a little bit, but I'll go over this. I'm not in any trades, so I'm good. I'm happy with my profit I made today anyway. So let's see, if you go to the settings, where's it at? See, I can't remember. I gotta remember where it's at. I think it's in general. Let's see. Where is it at? I thought it was in. Taxes, appearance, equities. Where is it at? There's somewhere where it says show volume. Okay, so on layout, if you have overlap volume on, it'll show in here in the chart. Is it showing like that? You found it? Okay. I know it's somewhere like that. It's somewhere in the settings. That should say something like show volume or something. Oh yeah, right there, volume, show subgraph. Yeah, so it was in equities. So there you go. Yeah, I got it. I found it. I saw it. I was just making sure you found it. Yeah, see, look here. IGC cracking at 140 and just dipping off. But, I mean, this is a clear this is usually a pretty good sign that a stock is going to sell off, is this move right here, this curl. When a stock starts to curl over, and you guys have been following me for a while, I call it a reverse U shape or a bent fishing rod. But that's just what it looks like to me. But you get this curl over, it usually leads to a sell off most of the time. Especially if it's curling over under a resistance area, like a downtrend line resistance, or you can see right across the tops of these candles at 165 with some resistance. So it just hits the resistance and curls over and just dies. Yeah, no problem, buddy. So we'll get the stream about 5-10 more minutes here. If you guys have any more questions, suggestions, or ideas, go ahead and get those in. How's the SPY doing today? Let's take a look at the SPY. SPY coming up. See, we have anything interesting happening? They're not. I guess the White House or USA doesn't want to do trade talks with China. Opening schools. Looks like Germany is saying that one or several vaccines could be available. I know Russia said they had one. Let's see. TikTok partners with New York Yankees. That's a strange partnership. No, I don't know what that's about. So I don't know. Not really any crazy news this morning. Just like normal man news. ABI. Yeah, no, that's part of the reason I do this, is because I don't want, I wanted to build a community, a free community, because there's all these so-called gurus that want to charge, so much money for you to listen to their buying signals and all that. And that's not what I am. I don't tell anybody to buy anything. You guys don't buy stocks because I buy them. All I'm here is to guide you and let you learn from my successes as well as my losses. So I made a nice win on IGC, and then BOXL I took a loss on, which should have been a win, but I was being stupid and held this through all of this nonsense. But yeah, I'm not here to tell you when to buy and sell. I am here just to guide you. I want you guys to be a better trader than me. Watch AMTX here. It looks like it's going to try to build up to 350. Which being a better trader than me is not a very high bar that I've set. So if you guys can do better than me, then you're probably doing at least decent. No, I don't trade on margin. If you're new, do not trade on margin. Absolutely do not trade on margin. Margin is way too risky for new traders to use. I've been doing this for 6 years, and I've used margin once in a short trader account, and it's okay, but if you don't know what you're doing, you're risking a lot. Because with margin, if you lose more than it's in your account, then you still have to pay that back to the broker. So I mean, there's plenty of horror stories out there. You can, there's a lot of them with people trading options on margin. The stock twits guys who took crazy option calls and made their accounts run up to 300,000, 150,000. They thought they were rich, and they thought they knew what they were doing, and then it turns out they didn't, and they just got lucky, and then they lost their whole entire account and end up owing $350,000 or whatever. Like there was a story recently of some kid who killed himself because he destroyed his life on margin, and that can happen. You can lose everything. Like, you can lose your house and everything with margin. So if you're a new trader, you absolutely should not be on a margin account. I don't care what anybody else says. I don't care if the best trader in the world tells you should be on a margin account. You should not be on a margin account because you are risking your entire life. If you don't know what you are doing yet, why would you want to risk your entire life? So yeah, no worries, call sign. I do this every day. Every day the market's open, 5 days a week. I've been in the middle of some real estate stuff that I've been trying to do, so I've not been doing the extra live streams. I do want to get back to that, doing maybe those Saturday or Sunday portfolio power up live streams and all that. But I'm just pretty much doing the bare minimum on the channel right now because I am spending a lot of time on my current situation with real estate. I'm fixing up my triplex that I'm in, looking to sell that, and I'm also looking for another property. That's why I have to take my dog to doggy daycare. I have my contractor coming over today to work on a few things on this property, and then I'm going to meet with my real estate agent at a couple properties that I'm looking at today. So, but I'm here no matter what, usually 5 days a week. And after, from 8:30 to 9:30, I really don't answer too many questions. But once we get out of, once we get past that 9:30 point, after hours, the market's been open for an hour, then I will answer questions and give you guys opportunity to pick my brain a little. Nice. Okay, so let me tell you this, Call Soup. Don't trade 100 shares. Because you're new, just trade 1 or 2 shares right now. Okay, the stock market's not going anywhere. It's going to be here forever, barring something dramatically apocalyptic happens. And this year's been pretty dramatically apocalyptic, and the stock market is still here. So even when that happens, it's still going to be here. So don't rush into this. Day trading takes a lot of time, to learn. So just focus on trading 1 or 2 shares. That way you're not risking that much money. Because if you're new, you don't really know what you're doing, and if you're buying 100 shares, you're pretty much gambling. So you only want to risk a very small amount of money, $1 or 2 shares at a time until you really get the feel of it. Then scale it up to 5 shares when you start getting consistent wins, and you're keeping your losses real small. And then keep scaling up. Go from 5 shares to 10 shares. It might take you 6 months or a year before you get up to trading 100 shares, but at least you're not throwing money in your account all the time because you're going 100 shares and losing it, like you did today. So you definitely don't want to be trading that many shares starting out. Just trade 1 or 2. I know it hurts the soul when you see things like IGC this morning ripping from $1 to $1.80, and you're like, man, if I would have got 200 shares of that and held it all the way to 205, then I could have made $200 or something like that. Like, I know that's going to affect you, but that's what I'm saying. Emotions are the hardest part of day trading. So you got to be disciplined, you got to be patient, and these moves will happen again and again and again and again and again in the market. So you're not missing out anything just because you miss out on something like this. Like, say if you get 1 share here and you get the rip all the way up, sure, you only made 80 cents, but guess what? You made a little profit. And if you can consistently do that day in and day out, consistently make nice little profits and keep your losses small. And today's a perfect example of this. I took an $8 loss, kept my loss pretty small on BOXL, and then I was able to capitalize $43 win on IGC. So I was still profitable, took 2 trades, 1 for 1, and still was profitable. So you just gotta take your time. Just do 1 or 2 shares. Don't worry about missing anything. Just get consistent. If you get consistent with 1 or 2 shares, and then you're consistent with 5 shares, and then you're consistent with 10 shares, you'll eventually be able to get consistent with 100 shares. So, no reason to rush. This is a learning process. Yeah, exactly. So at least you're willing to admit that you're gambling, and you know that you're gambling. So don't gamble with that much money. Just go 1 or 2 shares. You gotta learn everything. So you found my channel through the Thinkorswim setup video. Just go to the day trading playlist. The day trading lesson playlist. Go through all those lessons. Get an idea of support and resistance, because you need to understand support and resistance. You need to understand what these lines are on my chart, these EMAs, what they're there for. You need to understand what this is. Well, not that necessarily, but that's just for orders. But you need to understand the level 2. You need to understand the time and sells, and you need to understand price action. What way is the stock moving? So when you asked me about if you should get out of this, the price action was telling me this stock is pointing down. We were moving up. It hits a $2 resistance line. $2 high of the year. That's pretty high for this stock. And then you see all this selling, and the price action is telling you the buyers are not in control. It's pushing down. So you want to learn price action. So there's a lot to learn. Just take your time. Slowly learn. Be in the live streams every morning. And be in the markets trading 1 or 2 shares, and you'll get it. Doc Trader, I have a video specifically for the Thinkorswim setup that has all the settings. The reason, okay, so you must have not been in the live stream for very long, but the reason why on a move like this, you do not want to jump in after this much of a move without knowing anything, without looking at this chart. You see the stock right here at 180. This stock has ran from $1 to $1.80. That's an 80-cent move. Okay, so that's an 80% gain. So any traders who got in at $1 or $1.05 or $1.10 like I did in this range down here, they're going to be locking in profit all the way up this. And the higher it gets, the more people are going to start selling. So people were buying, all the way up through here, but people also were selling. For every buyer, there's a seller. And when one side outweighs the other, that's when the stock will move in that direction. So right through here, nobody's selling. Buying's coming in, buying's coming in, buying's coming in, and it starts pushing up. So the buyers have full control of this. And they're locking out their small position. They're locking out the small parts of their position all the way up, and then it hits this major resistance up there, and everybody's selling. Everybody who's in down here like me started selling right through here in this area. So if we start selling through there, and shorters see this just hit a high a year, it's not been even close to $2 the whole year. Shorters are going to come in, and they're going to start trying to sell and push it down. So now you got shorters, and you got people locking in profit, and you get this big drop down. This is all selling from shorters holding it down, and then people from here locking down or locking out. And then some traders who might have jumped in right through here, they're selling as well, because now their stop losses are getting hit. If you jumped in at, say, 175, looking for it to hold 175 support, your stop loss is at 174. It starts cracking through 175. Stop losses are getting hit, so that's more selling, and you get this nasty sell-off. So, yeah, well, don't put 20,000. Don't put 20,000 in anything. That's not a good idea. Like I said, just trade one or two shares at a time. You'll get there, and then eventually you'll get to the point where you can trade 20,000 and make huge profits. But I saw this in pre-market. It had a run up to 125, got hung up there. You can see back here in post-market, 125 with some resistance. So we draw a line straight across there, right? So we know that area is going to be where sellers are sitting at. That is resistance. Buyers are going to sell at 125, and sellers are going to, or shorters are going to try to come in at 125. So that's a resistance line. Sellers are going to be sitting, waiting. So it came back down, and then it started, after a little sell-off, it started coming back up. It pushed up to 110, that kind of 110 area right there. And we can draw another line right where that 110 is, and then I can extend that to the left, and let's see where all these candles hit. So you see, dropped below right there, hit around that 110, 115 area, dropped back down. Came up, same area again, back down. Hit the 110 area again, back down. Broke through the 110 area, hit the 125, came back down again, hit right there, comes back up right here, hits right there. So it kept hitting that 110 resistance. So I knew if it, well, I'm not going to say I knew for sure, but it hits 110, sells off, but barely, doesn't sell off quite a lot, and starts to curl up. So the opposite of right here where it curls down, you get a curl down, a little U. Right here is the opposite. You got to curl up. You have a U curling up into that resistance, buying volume on this buying volume bar here, coming in, pushing in through this resistance. So you get this nice little U breakout. And it did hit 125 on this candle, you can see there, and it held up as resistance, but buying volume kept coming in, pushed through 125, and then you start getting more traders in at that big break of 125, and it gets halted and pushes up. So there's a lot there you got to look at. But like I said, once you learn support and resistance, you can start seeing these things a lot more clearer, and then you can see the price action. That's why you got to learn all that stuff. That too. Your sell target is always at resistance. So my first sell target, because I got in at 120 or 110, 125 was at that resistance. So that was my first sell target. Now, usually if my first sell target is that close, I will hold a little bit to see if it's going to break through that resistance. Because if it does get the break through this major resistance area, it can make a nice move like it did from 125 all the way up to $2. So then at that point, because it got halted, once a stock keeps getting halted on the way up like that, it's a little bit trickier to try to decide where your price target is. So I just started scaling out. I think I scaled out half of my position at the 160 area when it unhalted and gapped up. It looked like it was going to sell off for a second, but I sold half, I think, there. And then I started scaling out a little bit at a time. And then I ended up selling some of my position. I had 20 shares, I think, left. I sold down through here because it wasn't really breaking up anymore. So I don't do percentage price targets. I do price targets where resistance is at. You know, if you're running into resistance, you got to think of resistance like a ceiling. You know, you're going to run into that. It's like Mortal Kombat when you're playing Mortal Kombat. If you're going to knock somebody through the ceiling, you have to uppercut them hard. So you got to think of like Scorpion uppercutting somebody hard. That's that buying power, the volume coming in, and you get that nice strong uppercut through this ceiling. And then, you know, their body flies up, and they usually hit the next ceiling above it. So the next ceiling was $2, and then the body drops back down to the previous ceiling that is now a floor. So that was that ceiling. You know, Scorpion uppercuts Johnny Cage through the ceiling. Johnny Cage hits another ceiling, drops back down, and now he's on this ceiling that's now a floor. You can see IGC is holding up. So yeah. So that's just how I like to think about support and resistance, is that it's like uppercutting somebody through the ceiling. So But I use that reference in this. I have videos specifically on support and resistance. I have a video on understanding these candles and what they mean. I have a lot of videos that explain a lot of this stuff. So go study that, and if you still having questions or issues, come back in the live streams. You can ask me questions there. But all right, guys, I gotta get going. Like I said, I've got a whole day full of other stuff that I have to do. So we will be back tomorrow before the market opens. No, before the market opens is pre-market. So I mean, you can get in pre-market, but pre-market as a new trader, you want to learn how to trade in the market open time first before you trade in pre-market, because pre-market's trickier. Pre-market is way trickier than trading during market open. So, but you can learn all that, guys. So yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. You guys have a great rest of your day. Good job to everybody who did make some profits today. There was a couple of spots. You know, keep an eye out on Voxel. I think it still has a little potential. Still really not doing anything, but the PR is pretty good. It may or may not do anything. I wouldn't really, think about it till it gets back up, maybe towards that 250 area. But still, then it could just hit 250 and drop down. But anyway, yeah, you guys have a great rest of your day. No problem, guys. Stay safe out there. Until next time.